I want to talk to somebody here who's been maligned, been talked about, been mistreated, ostracized, been criticized. You're still anointed. You're still God's child. He still loves you. Shake yourself. Get up from where you are and let the world know I'm back. I'm back with a mighty hand. It's critical now because he overrides our attitudes. He overpowers our prejudices and he overwhelms our denials. He'll show you in the middle of your day that yes, I have my hand on David, and yes, I have my hand on Noah. I don't know anybody God used who was perfect. Noah got drunk on the day of reconciliation. David was a murderer and an adulterer. Moses was a liar and a coward. Abraham was such a coward he turned his wife over to a man. Peter was a boaster and thought he was the cat's meow and the dog's bow wow. At the end of the day, go through the list. Everybody had a problem. The only one who had no problem is Jesus. And if you sit in here and you got a problem with somebody with a problem when you have a problem, something's wrong with you. I feel like a breakthrough coming. I feel like a breakthrough. God didn't send you in here to put anybody down. He sent you in here to pick everybody up that's in your space. That's how he handled it. I'm almost there, Patrick. I'm almost there. They realize now that we've got to get Jesus. And they now plotted in order to bring this woman to him. Let me tell you something. There's a Get Jesus committee. That's what it was. And they met in the middle of the night. And they were already predisposed. They were self-righteous custodians of their own morality. And they had no sensitivity to the other person's trials. I feel the Spirit of God. And they knew Jesus was too sensitive to put judgment on a woman that was helpless. Now can I preach like I feel it? If they were that holy, where is the man? I feel like preaching now. Now they brought a woman caught in adultery. Was she doing it by herself? I mean, where is the man? I feel it now. Let me break it down. I'm going to tell you where the man is. Can I tell you where he is? I'm going to break it down. You see, you've got to understand the timetable, and you've got to understand how it's set up. They met in the night, and the group of men were together in the room, and they were plotting to get Jesus. So they're working it out, and they said, well, we need to get somebody that we can put in front of him who we know he's going to be sensitive towards. When I think of that, let me digress. You remember when they tried to get Daniel, and they said the little plotters, you know, the little conspirators, you know, the little group that meets after church, and they go up to Denny's to eat, and they sit there while they're eating food, they're eating your back. I wish I could talk to you. You know, there's such a thing as backbiting, there's such a thing as back eating, and there's such a thing as back feasting. You don't want to be in that clique. When they start that garbage, get up and say, you know what, I'll see y'all later, because I don't want to be a part of that. Because I read somewhere where he said, if you do it to the least one of my brethren, I don't want to be on the side of pulling people down, because anybody you pull down is already above you. I want to be on the side of picking people up, because anytime time you pick somebody up, you gotta be above them. I feel something happening here. Give somebody a high five and say, I'm not in the business of tearing lives up. I'm in the business of putting them together again. I feel like lifting him up. I got work to do. I want you to go with me now and notice that the group of Get Jesus committee members had gathered in the night, and then the Bible said that they went to their own dwelling places. Jesus went to pray, they went home. Now early in the morning they bring a woman to Jesus. Now somebody tell me, when did they have the time to investigate as to where can we find a woman in adultery? When they were at the night and it's the next morning, I've got news for you. They already knew who she was because she was going with one of them. I feel like I could preach it. I feel like preaching now. So now the good old boys are going to give her up. I feel like preaching here. Can I give you one? Just let me give you one. Give somebody a high five and say, neighbor, whoever will sin with you will sin against you. I feel it here. You better know who you're going down with, honey, because somebody will give you up. Somebody will turn you out. Somebody will and leave you holding the bag because she was one of their consorts. And the man said, all right, let's have her so we can get Jesus. And that's why they didn't bring the man, because the man was one of their buddies. I feel like preaching in here. I'm going to preach till the devil gets mad. And so now it ain't about holiness. It's not about righteousness. It's about catching somebody so that they can kill the master. Oh, but the wisdom of an omniscient God kicked in immediately, and he began to write on the ground. The Bible doesn't say what he wrote, but he was defending her in the dust. She's just standing there, the poor thing, with no help. But honey, you got help. When they think they're going to waste you, the Lord steps in. When they think they're going to wipe you out, the Lord moves with the power of his wisdom, and he works things out in a way that what should have destroyed you turns out to bless you and make you a better person. Give somebody a high five. Say, don't do it no more. Don't be riding around in the car with marijuana in the seat. Don't do that again. Don't be getting drunk and driving down the street because God miraculously got you home the other night. Give somebody a high five. Say, don't do it anymore. If you're going to get a drink, get a driver. Am I preaching to somebody? Am I talking to somebody here? Don't do it anymore. You ought to give God praise for bringing you out of a bed that you could have got HIV. Don't do it no more. You ought to give God glory that when you should have lost your mind because of the trouble you got in, he brought you out. He wrote on the ground and he said, you that have no sin, cast the first stone. I feel like preaching today. Shake somebody's hand. Said, I picked it up, but I couldn't throw it. Do you know how many times I picked up a stone, but I couldn't throw it? Because when I reached back to throw it, my sins came across my eyes. My weaknesses came across my mind. My malignance came across my spirit. And God said to me, how can you, of all people, throw a rock at somebody? I didn't send you to stone them. I send you to bring them out. I feel like lifting him up. Give somebody a high five and said the defense was not in what he wrote. The defense was when he hung on Calvary, because it's Calvary that brought her out. It's Calvary that saved her soul. I'm going to defend you. Can I preach like I feel it? Give somebody a high five and say, Jesus told me to tell you, you can hurt me over his dead body, over my dead body. That's what the Lord said. If they can hurt you, it's going to be over my dead body. I was nailed through the carpal and the radius bone, and it cut the median nerve so that you can have a right to the tree of life. I was nailed between the intermetatarsal space of my foot, and it cut the peroneal nerve so that you can walk in a church and look at anybody and give God the praise for what he is making you. I ain't got there yet, but I'm on the way, and there's too much good in me for you to kill me over one thing or two or three things. I wish I had somebody that knew how to love. I can't let you die. I can't let you go. You're too valuable. So you made a mistake, but you got too much good in you. Look at somebody. Say, we ain't through with you. You may be helpless, but you're never worthless. You're valuable. I'm getting ready to close, but I feel something moving a little higher. Come somebody say, neighbor, I am my brother's keeper. I am your keeper. I am my sister's keeper. I will not turn my back. I don't care what they say. I'm in it for the rough ride. If you're going through hell, give me a seat with you. If you're going through trials, I'll be in there with you, because we're coming out. And when we come out, it'll come out with praise. I feel like lifting him up. They nailed him with a crown of thorns on his head, but he died with a death grip, because when it cut the median nerve, his hands closed, and I heard him say, no man can pluck them out of my hand. I'm in his hand through thick and thin. I'm in his hand whether I'm up or down. I'm in his hand with hell or heaven. I'm in the master's hand, and if you don't like it, that's your business. He'll be there when I call him. For I heard him say, this poor man cried, and the Lord delivered him out of all of his trial. Can I get a breakthrough in here? Give somebody a high five for the second to the last time and said, I'm coming out. I'm coming out. I've done wrong, but it ain't over yet. I've sinned, but I'm not gonna fall apart. I've done wrong, but I'm getting up again. I'm coming back with the power of the Lord. Can I preach like I feel it? 3 days later, up from the grave, he arose with all power. All power in his hand. Give somebody a high five for the last time. Say, neighbor, don't do it again. Don't do it again. Give that up. That ain't helping you. Cut that loose. That ain't the right one. Walk away from that. That's gonna kill you. Turn your back on that. Put that out of your house. Tell them you got to go. You ain't nothing but trouble. You got to go. You gonna kill me or I'm gonna kill you. Somebody got to go, because I'm trying to make it. Y'all excuse me today. Y'all excuse me today. But I feel like lifting him up. Anybody here can give God praise for your second chance? How about third chance? How about fifth chance? How about 10th chance? How about 100 chances? I praise him. I glorify him. I lift him up because I've had so many chances that I can only give God the praise because no weapon